What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today is Tuesday. That means it's time for the weekly Nightfall Strike solo run. I'll show you how to cheese all the way through this one. I am very practiced at it, and this one's pretty easy. But to be honest with you, I probably won't be talking much about the strike today, just because so much happened in the world of Destiny yesterday, and it's all just kind of ruminating around in my mind. I can't wait to kind of spit it out. This is a long format video, and it seems like the perfect time to start getting those ideas out there. We can start kind of mulling those things over together as a group. So I'll be talking a lot about House of Wolves. I'll be talking a lot about future content in this video. So just to warn you, probably not going to be talking a lot about the strike. But before we get started, let's talk a little bit about the strike. Let's look at the modifiers. We got Epic. We got Nightfall. We got Arcburn. Arcburn is pretty good for us. It's dangerous. There are a lot of enemies in that first initial area where you have to fight 3 waves of enemies that do arc damage, and there's snipers. There's a lot of shanks that go into there, so you got to be pretty careful in there. But because we have such good arc damage weapons available to us, this is actually beneficial. All right, next we have Light Switch, so you don't want to get too close to anything that will melee you, which is just about everything. And finally, Angry. Minions of the Darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. My loadout, I'm going to go with a Striker here. The reason I went with a Striker is for this grenade, the Flashbang grenade. I love using the Flashbang. It does arc damage, so it's doing double duty. And basically, just you throw it at a group of enemies, and they just stand around looking stupid until the effect wears off. And you can either take them out really easily or focus your attention on a different group. So that makes life much easier. I'll be using the Fang of Ur-Ute. Another great option would be Fatebringer. The Pulse Rifle from Crota's End Raid would be another great option. There's just so many good options for arc damage primaries. It's really up to you, whatever your preference is. Next, I'll be using Aphrodite's Spear. Any arc damage sniper rifle is going to serve you very well here. I love the Spear. It's my favorite sniper rifle for basically any reason. So that's what I'll be using. Patience and Time would work really well here, but any arc damage sniper rifle is what I'd go with. And Legendary would make it a little easier if you do have Thunderlord. So I'll be using Thunderlord as my exotic. If you don't have Thunderlord, obviously any arc damage heavy machine gun is going to work well. I would shy away from the rocket launchers. I think you're going to get more use out of a machine gun in this particular strike, but really it's preference. And Thunderlord is an arc damage exotic, so I just figured I'd go with it today. And lastly, my exotic chest armor is the Armamentarium, and that goes along with my class choice. Because I wanted to use the Flashbang Grenade, I figured it's better to have 2 than 1, and that comes in handy an awful lot. So with all that being said, let's launch this strike up. All right, we have landed on Earth. Let's get this strike started up. Man, yesterday was a big day for Destiny news. There's so much to unpack from yesterday. So much speculation and, you know, just so much going on. It's going to be, I mean, we're going to be talking about just Deej's post after the trailer came out about no raid and upgrading legendary weapons. You know, that stuff is gonna get a lot of air on YouTube, I can guarantee you that. It is, I mean, a lot of people were surprised that there's not going to be a raid, but I feel like we kind of already knew that. You know, this arena thing, we knew that this was going to be the arena, right? We just didn't know what the arena was going to be. And Prison of Elders kind of got leaked early. We just didn't know that it would be a 3-man, you know, max multiplayer event. I'm not surprised that it's not a raid, to be honest with you. What I am surprised about is that it's 3-man only, not 6-man. But at the same time, you know, I think Bungie feels like they need to add new content. Not just do the same thing over and over again. I'm going to head over to this little divot here. This is going to be basically my location for this entire portion of this raid, or this strike. And I've done this strike before with these modifiers. So, honestly, I'm not going to be talking a whole lot about what I'm up to here. This isn't a bad strike. If you're tuning into this video just to see how I cheese this strike, then you could just watch what I'm doing here. It's not a difficult thing to figure out. Mainly what I'm going to be doing is using that area that I was just in to stay safe. And I'll be doing that with a few different sections. But yeah, I mean, yesterday was insane. I mean, the Planet Destiny team was working all day. Basically just like kind of unpacking all the news. First the trailer, and then the news update that came afterward. And I think a lot of people are pissed off that there's not going to be a 6-man raid. But my guess is that Bungie actually has some stuff under their, you know, kind of up their sleeve that they're holding back on. They don't want to spill all of their secrets in one update. And frankly, I'm sure they know that people are going to be upset that there's no raid. Or no new raid. But at the same time, you've got to assume that Bungie wants to be adding new types of content to this game. And they don't have, you know, unlimited funds for developing the game. They don't have unlimited people to throw at it. So they've got to make choices. And the choice this time, apparently, was, do we want brand new stuff? Or do we want, you know, another raid that's similar to the last two? But my guess is... Oops. That was my opportunity to kill that guy. My guess is really that there is going to be new raids. It's just going to be the Vault of Glass and Crota's End with a harder difficulty. And that's how you're going to earn the new... Oops. The new level 365 gear. Which is a lot of content if you think about it. So if the other option is, right, say you got a Fatebringer, like that's what they kind of leaked out, is that there'll be a way to get a level 365 attack Fatebringer. Are they going to just make that like an upgradable thing in the tower? I mean, arguably, it's the best weapon in the game. Now, what I don't think they're going to do is just have like some kind of a coin, like an exotic shard, to upgrade your Fatebringer or your Vision of Confluence, or even your raid armor from Vault of Glass. What I think they're going to do is have a new hard mode, a new level 34 hard mode for both of the older raids. Where is this guy? There he is. And that is how we're going to earn, whoops, the new gear. And Prison of Elders, to me, is really exciting because it's brand new. Like, it's a brand new way to play Destiny. It's not something that we've done before. I am disappointed that it's 3-player only. But if it's fun content, it's fun content. And if we get new level 34 raids, there's going to be plenty of raiding to do to get that new level 365 gear. I'm going really slow because I'm not concentrating. I'm talking about the future of Destiny instead of concentrating on the present here. Against these Shanks, you'd be well served by bringing a solar burn weapon. Shanks, as usual, being the most dangerous portion of the strike. But yeah, I mean, we'll be recording the Planet Destiny podcast today, which, you know, just because everybody's so excited about everything that Bungie has gone out and told us, you know, about Trials of Osiris. It's no secret that the Planet Destiny guys are big fans of the PvP component of this game. And Trials of Osiris has been something that we've been really looking forward to. So everybody on the Planet Destiny team was excited to hear Bungie talk about Trials of Osiris. Even though they didn't talk about it much, they basically showed an image of what the gear that you get from it might look like. But it is the first time that Bungie has talked about Trials of Osiris at all publicly, which alone is very exciting. And then the Prison of Elders, we don't really know much about. You know, there's some interesting wording in the announcement for Prison of Elders. You know, the fact that they put multiplayer in there, does that mean there's going to be a PvP aspect to it? I doubt it, but why did they put in multiplayer? Where'd the other sniper go? And then, of course, we'll get, I think, 3 new missions, 1 new strike that's multi-platform, I think 2 strikes on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation platform. Yeah, I could totally see them releasing a level 34 hard mode for the old raids, which frankly adds a lot of content to the game. You know, the Vault of Glass, I haven't run Vault of Glass in months because I have everything out of there. There's no, other than just because I like to run Vault of Glass, there's no reason in-game for me to do it. So if they added a reason for me to go back to it, to a harder mode, to a harder difficulty, that's actually exciting to me. And it's one of the biggest complaints that people had when Dark Below came out, is that all your Vault of Glass gear was basically irrelevant. For a high-level raider, for somebody who's already in the end-game content, there was no reason to go back to Vault of Glass once Dark Below came out. So there's, you know, there's just a lot to unpack, and we're going to be getting more news kind of trickled to us over the upcoming weeks until House of Wolves comes out. And I don't think it was any mistake. I don't think it was a coincidence that Update 1.1.2 is coming out the day after they announced that there's no raid. I know they knew people were going to be upset about it. And I think they made a tactical decision. At some point, they wanted to add kind of this new arena game type. They could have waited for Comet and just added another raid here. But this was probably their game plan for a long time. Alright, I need to move out of here and just do a little cleanup. Oh, there he is. Get that sniper ammo. This isn't a bad strike to solo, as long as you're pretty careful. You got to know that everything is basically doing arc damage. So you just got to be, you know, pretty careful on this one. But as long as you don't get too aggressive, It's really not a difficult strike. Oh, that reminds me. Don't forget to pick up your bounties for today's strike. Eris Morn has one. Xander has a couple that are usable. I don't think he has a straight-up Nightfall only. Someday, Bungie's going to patch this so that things just start running down here. It's going to be a shocking day. Get up there. After last week's Nightfall with no burns, honestly, this feels like a cakewalk. I don't mind no burn Nightfalls, but it was unfortunate that it had to be against Valis. He is a bullet sponge, and not getting extra damage against him was tough. Where is this guy? Oh, they're in there still. They were stuck, I think. They got stuck. Whoa. Get out, get out. Let's get a little health back here. There we go. Alright, that's 2 of 3. Oh, we still got a drag hiding out over here. I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting on the Planet Destiny podcast today because I think that there's going to be some interesting discussions about the future of Destiny and kind of what this DLC really means to people. There's no doubt people are upset about not getting a new raid. There's no doubt about it. And that's understandable. For a lot of people, that is like the primary way they enjoy Destiny at this point. Is doing raids with their raid group, 6-man raid groups. Oh, God. This gun is so good. We get another round of snipers. Hey, that guy just hanging out there. I see you. I see you too. This gun is a beast without the arc burn modifier. With it, it's just a monster. Where'd he go? He's hiding on me. There he goes. Alright, looks like we just got a little cleanup to do. Oh, there's a shank still. Alright, I'll just run around, collect a little ammo. There's plenty of heavy out here. That's nice. I brought Thunderlord, so that'll be good. And I did want to switch over to Black Hammer for the boss fight. Did I bring it? Yeah, there it is. That tank is just ultra susceptible to Black Hammer. That's the only reason I'm switching over. Even though Aphrodite's Spear would do a ton more damage, I feel like I could still get the job done quicker with the Black Hammer. I'm really looking forward to Trials of Osiris too. And that gear that they showed in the picture on their post, the helmet, the Warlock helmet especially, looked awesome. Like, it looked unlike anything we've ever seen from gear in Destiny. It looked like a piece of armor from, like, Egypt. You know, it just looked too cool. And it was nothing like what we'd seen from the database leaks. You know, that was obviously just placeholder data, which is good, and I think it's smart for Bungie because that stuff should be a surprise when they decide to release it. All right, for
the layer is up ahead, under that column.
For this guy, we're just gonna run over here and jump across to this roof, and we're just gonna snipe the snot out of this guy. If you don't have Black Hammer, any sniper rifle is gonna do it here. But I would bring some special ammo synth to take care of him a little faster. Let's just take that guy out. He was just standing there. Sorry, buddy. Alright, so the nice thing about Black Hammer in this situation is that you can just kind of constantly shoot. Because it's so easy to get crit shots, and the Black Hammer gives you basically a free shot or a free reload every time you get a crit. So you've got, like, basically unlimited ammo. And if you got 3 guys doing this, this guy goes down super quick. I'm interested to see what the Prison of Elders gear will be. Like, will we have to, like, get to, like, let's say it's a wave-based thing. Like, each wave is, like, numbered, right? So, wave 1 starts off pretty easy. Wave 2 gets a little harder, and so on. Will you have to get up to, like, level 25 to get, like, a helmet? Or will you just get, like, a chance at some kind of gear at level 25? I'm interested to see how that will work. You know, if you get up to level 30, are you guaranteed the auto rifle? Oh, I'm shooting at the wrong spot. Or do you just get a chance at some kind of raid weapon? I'm interested to see how that'll work because it's a different way of doling out content than Bungie's ever done. Or doling out gear, I should say. Well, both, really. So, you know, that makes me wonder, you know, Bungie has come out and said that they're not happy with the way they did it for Dark Below, right? They weren't happy with kind of that Forever 31 issue pre-Dark Below. So they tried to fix it with Dark Below, but they weren't really happy with the way that went either. Just switch back to Aphrodite. So they're clearly, you know, still working on how to dole out rewards in this game. It's got to be satisfying, but it has to be slow enough that people have a reason to keep coming back. if you ran the raid for the first time and you got every piece of raid gear, got all the weapons and all the armor, what would be the point of ever coming back? You know, that doesn't make sense to do that way. But it also, you know, it's disheartening when you run the raid, you know, 20 times and you don't get that one piece of gear that you really want and need. You know, with, let's say with the Vex or the Necrochasm, it's a little different with those because it's exotic and it's supposed to be rare. But like, let's say you're looking just for a raid helmet for one of your characters. You know, that was an issue with Vault of Glass, is that you could run the raid 10, 15 times and never get a raid helmet, so you could never hit level 30. Which was a pain. Iron Banner helped with that somewhat, but they only offered some of the gear. Once Iron Banner 2.0 came around, and they added level 30 gear to Iron Banner, you know, it allowed a lot of people to hit level 30, but only people who were looking still for that specific gear. Like, I think they offered, I don't remember, I think it was gauntlets and boots that could be level 30. But if you were still looking for a chest piece or a helmet, that didn't help you at all. Now, Crota's End, that definitely didn't happen. I had full Crota's End gear, I don't know, I bet within the first 2 or 3 times I ran the raid. And then it was just a matter of getting the shards to upgrade it, which also didn't take long. And then it was just all about kind of, there's still another guy around here somewhere, there he is. Then it was all about just trying to get better gear, you know, like gear with the perks that you wanted specifically. Is there a sniper up there? Yeah. You know, like if you wanted a helmet that had infusion or something, then you could keep running it, trying to get that. Or if you wanted, you know, a specific weapon, like one of the guys in my raid team is still looking for the Black Hammer. Never got it. And that's only available in the normal mode. So he still wants to be running normal mode. Most of the raid team has moved on to hard mode and are frankly only looking for Necrochasm. That includes me. Or the Crux of Crota, sorry. So for this fight, I'm just going to use this room. To me, I found over time this to be the safest. I used to use, you know, that doorway. Where is it? That doorway there. And use my heavy to take out the captain and the 2 vandals that spawn because you're in there. But that was fraught with peril. So now I just use this room here. I still have to actually kill everything to get this boss fight started. That was dangerous. Light switch is on, I think, today. Alright, I think that's everything. So as long as you stay safe here, just play it nice and conservative. Conservative. This really isn't that hard a fight. I only have 2 sniper rifle bullets, but I brought... That was a miss. Look at that, 12,000 per hit. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I'm just gonna use it. I was thinking maybe I'd switch to Icebreaker and let it regen, but this is faster. Why'd I get 12,000 with the first one and 9,000 with the other 2? So he'll move around a little bit. Just be really careful when you're kind of chasing him. Isn't that weird? Look at that. I took 12,000 with that first shot. But now I'm only doing 9,000. He's doing void damage, so he's not as dangerous as he could be. But you don't want to get yourself weakened and then have one of the Vandals or a Drag or something come in with arc damage and mess you up. He's going to be there. I'm going to try and throw some Thunderlord at him. Can I see him from my window here? I know this is a weird video, right? Because I'm playing the Nightfall, I'm not really talking about the Nightfall. But it's just that, you know, it's on my mind. Everything that we heard about and found out about yesterday, that's what's on my mind today. And, you know, we'll definitely talk about that a lot in the upcoming weeks. That's for sure. You know, the podcast will be recording today. I think we're going to wait at least until update 1.1.2 comes out, because as of right now, while I'm recording this, it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. The update is not out. And I'm really looking forward to that update because of the extra vault space. You know, to me, that's one of the hardest things about Destiny right now, is the fact that I don't have any vault space. Just stay right there. Don't move. Let's see where he went to. He's probably top left, like up there somewhere. There he is. Oh, we got some company here. It was nice of him to leave some ammo for me. Ooh. Something hit me hard there. So the boss himself here, really not an issue. It's all the mobs here, the ads that are doing arc damage. They're really what's dangerous. Can I get a grenade through there? So that's really what you want to be careful of. You know, don't get yourself overexposed when the mobs are around. And if you're relatively careful, the strike really is not difficult to beat solo. He's down, what, to a third? And what I'm trying to do is shoot at their like knees and feet. It gives me an angle to shoot at them, but they can't really shoot back. back to reloading too much. So a habit I try to break. But it's a hard one to break. Where is he? There he is. He's almost dead. I think he's above me. Go check out my window. Don't see him, and there's an awful lot of stuff that would like to shoot me through that window. Oh. God, this gun is just dirty. It just is. Just give myself a second to regen here. Wow. Ah, that's why. There's still some more of those guys over there. Oh, boy. God, he's got a sliver left. There he goes. Alright, that was the Nightfall strike. Again, I didn't talk about it too much this time around. But you can see my strategy is basically to cheese this whole thing. And it's really not a difficult one. Let's see. Did he drop a... There it is. Little prism ether seeds. So let's see what we got. I'm still looking for the Monte Carlo. I would love to get a Monte Carlo. I'll take any exotic legendary engram, or I'm sorry, any legendary engram, because I love getting those. It's a big surprise, and it's fun to open them with the Cryptarch. Well, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's awful. All right, so I would like the Monte Carlo. Are we gonna get it this week? 187 kills, 0 assists, 0 orbs, and another Suros regime. Oh, people are going to be pissed in the comment section. I have gotten so many of these. All right, still, I'll get an exotic shard out of it. Man, I would have loved to see the Monte Carlo come up because that would have completed my collection. The Suros will probably get almost immediately sharded. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.